Hello, I'm Laura. It's Friday, January 2nd, 2026, and these are today's Heartlines. The theme for Heartlines this week is New Beginnings. So I thought I'd bring down this little stained glass piece that sits on my bookshelves upstairs because it reminds me of new beginnings. The image of the bird flying into the sun feels like the beginning of a new year when we fly into the new light of what is possible. And that is what we are looking at today. But before we go there, I do want to acknowledge something that may be weighing on our hearts today, and that is the tragedy that we've heard in the news coming from Switzerland, where a crowded bar on New Year's Eve caught fire and more than 40 people were killed and more than 115 injured. And our hearts just go out to the people and the families that were involved in that, and to feel it in our hearts, actually, to feel that tinge of human emotion, of sadness and compassion and empathy, is to recognize that we truly are connected to our brothers and sisters around the world. So whatever we do affects everyone. And what is it exactly we are willing to do and be in this new year? That's what we're looking at today. And we're doing it because our spiritual power that is awakening in us on this 8th day of the journey toward Epiphany is will. What are we willing to do and be? Well, it seems that the government here in the United States has been willing to make a lot of changes in the past year. And at the beginning of this new year, we see new laws and policies regarding healthcare and AI usage and the environment. And even with vaccinations and medical procedures, and even how we take care of our pets in some states, new laws are going into effect around this country. So what are the new things we want to see go into effect in our lives, and are we willing to pursue them? And along those lines, I would ask you the question, how are those resolutions going? Have you made any? Have you broken any in the past 24 hours? Or have you just decided to resolve not to resolve, as many people have? Because there's something about resolution that tells us there's a problem to resolve. That's what it means, resolution. We need to find a new solution to old problems. But what if we took the approach that it isn't really problems that we have in life, but rather challenges that call forth opportunities for new possibilities? If we look at it that way, then we don't have to go about trying to fix ourselves this year, only to fail. I don't know about you, but my husband and I have a bicycle, exercise bicycle in the corner of our living room that we keep saying, okay, we're going to get back to that. We have a gym membership. We say we're going back to the gym. And you know what? I think we will at some point when our will is willing to do that. But for now, what we are looking at is simply transforming the way we see ourselves. And we do that in 3 ways. We do that through recommitment. We can actually reflect on the beneficial practices that we already have in life. Give ourselves a little pat on the back for those and recommit to continuing those in the new year. We can reform how we think about ourselves, maybe as failures because we haven't met our resolutions. Well, because resolution starts with the idea that there's a problem with me, who would want to live up to that? Let it go. Let yourself know you are whole and complete just the way you are right now, and then come from there. So reform your thinking about yourself, and then you can reach for something new. Go someplace you haven't been. Do something you haven't done. Because when you reach for something new, you recreate a new energy in life. Or, as the term actually goes, you recreate. You discover new ways to bring joy to your soul. And thinking of these ways, we are going to go into a moment of contemplation to recognize and realize that we have everything we need right here in this moment, and then to be willing to bring it forth into our lives and world, this new perspective and the actions that come from that. So let's take a deep breath and close our eyes and focus on this special idea. I will recommit to beneficial habits, reform my thinking from problems to possibilities, and reach for something new that brings me joy, because I am all I need to be right here and now. I will recommit to beneficial habits, reform my thinking from problems to possibilities, and reach for something new that brings me joy, because I am all I need to be right here and now. And so it is. So remember the people who have gone through loss over this past year, and especially recently in Switzerland, and hold them in your hearts with love. Recommit to habits that are beneficial for you. Reform your thinking about yourself and reach for something new that brings you joy. And like this bird behind me, you will fly into the new light of possibility in this new year. Thank you for joining me this day, and have a wonderful day.